Welcome to Muddy River News This Week, furnished by Harvey's. I'm Bob Goff. This week we are very fortunate to have a great guest. Possibly, well, not possibly, definitely the busiest man in the world this time of the year. And of course I'm talking about Santa Claus.
And thank you very much.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Hey, are we still in production mode, or is production done?
Oh, no, production is never done. I mean, we get done with one season's Christmas, we start right into the next one.
And I guess the distribution process, you've been doing this for so long, you got it down to a science, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you do something for 700 years, eventually you figure it out.
And I guess this year, the big problem worldwide with supply chain issues. Now, do you have that, or are you make enough of your own stuff, you bypass all that?
We don't have issues with supply chains. We do have warehouses around the world, but no, we don't have the issues that normal people are having.
What is the most difficult thing about being Santa Claus?
Riding for hours behind 9 reindeer who do what reindeer do.
Do you have to, do they have a special diet so they don't do what they do and do so much?
Well, we have windshields. They have a
okay.
special diet anyway, because not every reindeer can fly. Some people think they can, but no, it's only a special breed of reindeer that can fly.
I did not know that.
And they have a special diet. Most of the year they eat what normal reindeer would eat, but then we get closer to the holiday season, we sprinkle their diet with this special sauce, I guess you might call it, and they start flying.
Is it PETA approved?
Probably not.
Okay, well we won't talk about that part then. That's fine. So when so we're still making toys. We're still doing everything we need to do. How difficult is the naughty nice list?
You know, it's really, you have to be really, really bad to get on the naughty list.
So
we want Christmas to be happy for everyone.
But you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
At what point, when you see someone who you would call very evil, like say an Adolf Hitler, at what point did they go from the nice list or the naughty list, or did when he came out of the womb, he was just instantly, naughty?
Day one.
Really?
Yeah.
He had no leeway, no chance, whatever. He came out and the red lights went off.
He could have made some better decisions throughout his life, of course.
Yes.
As everyone
we all could, yes.
Sure.
But then someone who as pure as the driven snow, like, I don't think I know anybody. My wife, for example, Ellen Goff.
You are a smart man.
She's been on the nice list for a few years, I would imagine.
Since birth.
Does she get special treatment?
She nearly lost it several years ago when she got married, but other than that, she's been on the nice list.
So when she married me on July 4th, 1992, you had to take a good long look and say,
we had to weigh, and then we thought, you know what, she's obviously in love with you and is going to take care of you, and so that kind of tipped the scales.
So her decision was not as bad as, say, Hitler invading Poland decision?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
I just want to make sure. Good. All right. Well, and again, I know she's a saint. She's not, she's not a saint like you're a saint, but she's a saint.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
How's Mrs. Claus doing?
Mrs. Claus is doing great. She's up. She actually runs the shop.
And
the workshop.
But she does that. She receives a proper stipend. Do you
course.
have that? You have equal pay at the North Pole, correct?
Absolutely.
Good.
Everybody gets the same amount of cookies, syrup, sugar.
You've never had a work stoppage in 700 years, have you?
Oh no.
Really? That's
Elves
amazing.
love what they do.
That's great.
They're born to do it. The reindeer are born to do what they do.
Do you have the same elves, or you're on the old side? Do your elves age accordingly, or are your elves have kids and they come and they get in the family business?
The elves are like me, ageless.
Wow.
Timeless. But see, we have some tricks to help along with that. You know, science will tell you that what I do on Christmas Eve is impossible because I would have to go so fast we would burn up.
Sure.
Science. It's all magic. And we just sit down every year. We negotiate with Father Time and say, hey, I need the clock to stop so I can make my run. He stops the clock. I make my run. Clock starts again. Nobody knows the difference.
So when the clock is stopped, the rest of the world freezes?
Of course.
So that's why you've never been detected or picked up by NORAD or anything like that?
Oh, no. Well, NORAD has caught us a couple of times.
Okay. That's interesting.
But we have ways to evade the missiles.
And are you careful when you fly over certain places like North Korea?
We don't fly over North Korea.
Are they all naughty?
They are on the naughty list.
The whole country?
It's
complicated, isn't it?
It's complicated.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's just not another reason that you don't want to live there. So
that's right.
Now, we have 50 states in the United States of America. Surely all 50 states are on the nice list, right?
Yes.
You haven't banned any states like you banned North Korea.
All 50 states are on the nice list, and stop calling me Shirley.
Fair enough. And as you're, so you've, again, the toys that you make that, you go, but a kid wants Tickle Me Elmo back in the day. Perhaps it's a Baby Yoda this year. And again, you said you don't have any supply chain issues. But of all the toys over 700 years, what is the most popular toy, and what toy has stood the test of time? Maybe that's two different questions. But first, most popular toy ever.
Obviously, since around the 1830s, 1840s, trains have been number one for boys and dads and moms, and really just about everybody loves toy trains, whether they're the handmade wooden ones or the ones that run on tracks. And so trains and all those accessories have been pretty big. Now, they aren't as big anymore because, of course, video games and, we've got the Xboxes and the Y boxes, sure. And I let the elves keep track of that.
Do the elves get busy playing video games sometimes, and you have to say, hey guys, back to work?
Well, they do have to test out everything that they
sure.
build. But yes, occasionally either I or Mrs. Claus will have to put our foot down.
And the elves, we talked about how they are, as they're in the same boat you are as terms of age and stuff. When's the last time you had a new elf come aboard?
Oh, we have new elves all the time. As the population of the planet grows, we need more labor, just like anybody else. So
that makes sense.
We have the elves that just grow into it.
They don't grow that much, though.
Well, no. But they start out a lot smaller, too.
What is the average elf height?
The average elf height, 3'2".
3'2", okay. So are they, because again, with the way the world is, we're sensitive with titles and things like that. They're just elves. They're not dwarves. They're not little people. They're nothing like
elves.
that. They're elves.
Yes.
They're their own special classification.
That is correct.
And the ears... I assume that ever since they've all got the pointy ears, nobody makes fun, there's no Spock jokes, right?
Oh, no. They used to make fun of Spock, but no.
They have their own, we've heard of reindeer games. Are there elf games?
Oh, of course.
Like, what are some of the elf games? I mean, okay, I know you're cranking out product 365. I get that. But again, they got to have a little downtime. What do elves do in their downtime?
They test the toys and things that they make. We have elves who, for instance, like the game of basketball. So when they make a basketball, they'll take some time off and go play. They'll make a bunch of them so that they can try them all out and make sure they work. And so that's what those elves do in their downtime.
Do they play pickup games on the side?
Oh, sure.
So are there any elves who are aberrations who would be like the Shaquille O'Neal of elves, and then when they play the pickup games, he's like the first one picked and he scores all the points?
Well, yeah, we did have one elf, got to be the tallest elf ever. He was 4'2".
Okay. So only a foot tall.
4'3".
4'3", okay.
4'3", yeah, and he could slam dunk the ball.
He could dunk on a 10-foot rim?
Oh, 10 foot? No. Now we're talking about 6.
Oh, okay.
feet.
Okay. So, all right. Because it's a core. It's a core. It's like the size
scale.
accordingly. It's scale.
Except
Gotcha.
the ball. I mean, to an elf, the ball is like this.
But so it's a regular size ball.
Yep.
The hoop's a regular size, but the rim is shorter to accommodate.
Right,
the
to accommodate
elf
the elves,
size.
make it so that they can actually play the game.
And again, I know testing the toys. I mean, that is recreational, but it also is a part of the job. At some point, the elves, like yourself, you just want to get away for a few days. Can you share with me right now your vacation spot, your vacation getaway? How much time do you take off during the year, and where do you go?
Oh, I go south.
You have no other option.
I could take one step in any direction and go south.
But
No,
you don't do Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Fort Myers,
I have
spring
done
training?
all of those over the years.
Really? So
Oh,
you bounce around.
Oh,
then.
sure. I mean, 700 years, you can't do the same thing every
That's
year.
very true. That's
Of course,
very true.
some of those places didn't exist 700 years ago.
That's also very true. And I think it's funny because you're talking about 700 years, but Jesus Christ is a little older than that. So did we have a gap?
Well, and St. Nicholas was older than that.
Okay.
The man that I am patterned after, named after.
That's
he
how that
was
works.
around the late 300s.
Okay,
So that's about 1700 years ago.
and so you are, but are you ever going to retire?
Why would I do that?
We all might love our jobs. I love my job. I get me wrong, but 15, 20 years from now, I'm going to want to say, man, I just want to play some more golf. I want to travel a little bit. You travel all the time.
I travel.
That's not a problem. Do you play golf?
Badly.
Are there any courses at the North Pole?
No. The holes keep freezing over, so we tried.
But you use the multicolored golf balls, I would assume.
Oh, yeah.
Because a white ball, you're
No.
just shot, done, no, nothing.
Yeah. In fact, if we were going to use white balls, we'd just use ice.
That's not a bad idea. When you look at the whole entirety of your career, and again, being, if not the most famous man in the world, and certainly the busiest man in the world this time of year, when you look back at it, do you ever just sit there by your fireplace with perhaps a glass of something nice and a spirit to take your mind off things? Do you sit right back and reflect sometimes about what it all means to be you?
Oh, of course, because I got to keep up the image. I don't get to be on the naughty list.
Well, no.
I have to be Mr. Jolly Ho Ho all the time. And it can get hard sometimes, especially when you look out and you see different people doing things that aren't maybe, to use a non-Christian term, kosher.
But you're not denigrating. And I mean, when you talk about the naughty list, and I assume people jump back and forth from the naughty list to the nice list,
yeah.
right? You're not always excommunicated.
Oh, no.
Unless you're that one guy who was in Germany. He was toast. But
he was-
there are a lot, and there's probably a few people, probably the guy in North Korea, because you don't go there anymore.
Yeah, well, nobody is permanently naughty. Again, you make the right choices, you can get back on the nice
So
list.
there's possibly hope for Kim Jong-un. There's possibly hope.
Kim Jong-un, yeah, there's hope.
Got a way to go, though, right?
There's hope for everybody, but yeah, he'd have to make some really big changes.
That is such a Santa Claus thing to say. There's hope for everybody. That's what the season's
season
about.
are we in?
Christmas.
And what are the 4 Sundays of Advent?
Oh,
The first one is hope,
Yes.
peace, joy, and
Love.
love. And that's what it's all about.
I think that's the one thing. We always have to remember the reason for the season. And you're here and you're doing we're having fun talking about Christmas. But that is the one thing that people, I think the thing is that just the nicest gift you can give at Christmas is just to not be a jerk. and to be nice to people and to welcome them into your home or over a meal or whatever, just to, because you never know when somebody's had, but most people don't know when somebody's had a bad day. And so it's like, you never know when that moment of kindness might just be the thing that person needs. It might be their Ebenezer Scrooge moment where they all of a sudden have the epiphany.
Absolutely.
Another Christmas term. That it's like, oh, okay, I need to be nice. I'm going to go do great things for people. Right. And it just makes you feel good.
You also don't know when somebody's had the opposite kind of day. Yeah. Especially we're in a period right now where a lot of businesses are shorthanded. They're working as hard as they can, and other people get frustrated because they have to wait a little bit longer, or something that they wanted to buy for Christmas is not available. And believe me, folks, it's easier to adjust your own attitude, your own desires, than it is to adjust the job situation or the situation of all these boats sitting off outside of the ports, or the ports where there aren't enough trucks. It's just relax. That's what, and Christmas is about having fun. And if you're having to race around and do all of these things, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do this, I got to bake these, and I got to clean it, you're doing it wrong.
Have you thought about writing a book or maybe offering some Dale Carnegie-esque advice to some of these business owners who are having trouble with supply chains and who are having trouble finding employees, because you have neither of those issues?
Well, it's hard for somebody to start with the elves. I mean, I don't have to worry about a living wage or any of that, because that's just all part of the package of being an elf. Just like the reindeer are born to fly, these elves are born to do what they do, and they're compensated well for it. They get all of the housing and the food and the clothing and everything they need, and they do get vacation time.
But you can't, but they're so busy doing what they're doing, though, you can't outsource them. You can't say, hey, if a company's having trouble making widgets, you can't say, hey, here's Fred the Elf. He's going to go help you do some widgets.
Nope, could not do that.
That's too bad. That'd be a great idea.
It would be, and it would be a way to, of course, Santa has to make scratch just like everybody else.
That's very true. Have you read Ron Kinshriff's new book, The Baker's Patio?
I have not. I've heard that Ron is writing books now.
This will be a wonderful Christmas gift for anyone, by the way. If you go to news@muddyrivernews.com, we can tell you how to get one of these wonderful books that our own Ron Kinshriff has written, and also the illustrations are quite nice by Holly Brogard. So it's a very nice book, and would be excellent for your children in his Papa Tell Me a Book series, in which, being a good grandpa, he would read books to his kids, and he just said, I can do this. And he's written a couple of 3 children's books already. So we talked about you writing a book. So have you written any books?
Well, not under my own name. I always use a pseudonym, because you write a book, title it, By Santa.
Sure.
Anybody can do that, and it's hard to believe. So yes, I've written books, but I have put them under a pseudonym.
And when you read your own, when you read other books, what do you like to read? Do you like to read the great American author Mark Twain?
Oh, of course, of course. Good friend of mine lives in Mark Twain's hometown. In fact, I borrowed his car to get up here today.
That's awfully nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, what about Dickens? Do you read Dickens?
Oh, of course.
Did you like?
If it wasn't for Dickens, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
You would have? Why? You were retired?
Yeah. I would have retired, or would have, because the time that he wrote A Christmas Carol, Christmas was not being celebrated. People had gone a little bit overboard with their Christmas celebrations, and a lot of governments said, all right, you're going to do that? We're just not going to have Christmas.
Wow. So, is this, I don't want to, I would never presume anything for Santa. That's got to be one of your favorite books then, though, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Right behind Luke.
Well, you probably said that's right. You probably said the right thing. That's true. So, well, I've taken up some of your valuable time, and I certainly appreciate it. I know you have to get back to, back up north.
I do.
You came down here for this, quick trip just to kind of check on things, and I've heard you were coming in, so I wanted to just kind of, grab you for a few minutes. I do appreciate you stopping by, Santa.
Of course, appreciate everything you do too. Keep everyone in the Midwest informed.
Do you have any final words for our audience?
Yeah, 4 of them. Hope, peace, joy, love. Oh, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Santa. That's all the time we have now for Muddy River News this week. I'm Bob Goff. Merry Christmas.